Hi, hello there, you guys. Welcome to another one of my live videos. And today I'm just going to currently be doing my match reaction of the Manchester United Basel game. We currently won in a convincing, fantastic performance of Manchester United in a 3-0 victory. What a fantastic performance it was for Manchester United, and a fantastic start to the season by Manchester United. Obviously, we know Jose Mourinho, before the game, had made 6 changes from the draw with Stoke. He had made 6 changes from the draw with Stoke. And we know with Basel, well, the last time we played them, I think it was 3-3 and 2-1. They have won the Swiss League 8 times in a row, but they haven't had such a good campaign of Basel to the start of their current season this season. So, yes, Jose Mourinho made 6 changes. He went with the 4-2-3-1 formation. Last time out against Stoke, he rotated it a little bit, put Herrera in the mix with Match Pogba. He did put Darmian at left back, so he went with the 4-3-3. But Jose Mourinho last night went back with a 4-2-3-1 formation, more or less the same team that we've been playing for the majority of the time so far this season. But he put 2 or 3 names that haven't played this season. So he went with David De Gea. He went with David De Gea. He went with Ashley Young as well at the right back position. His first game since May. Ashley Young's, because he's got that option to extend his contract to another 12 months. So he was at right back. As a centre back partnership, we obviously know that it was Lindelof and Smalling, as Bailey and Jones were suspended. Small Lindelof haven't played since the Real Madrid Super Cup game. At left back, Jose Mourinho had gone with Daley Blind, because he's been performing fantastically well at left back. It could have been Luke Shaw. I was praying it was going to be Luke Shaw, to be quite honest, because we know he never had these injury problems at Southampton. And he's been playing for the under 23s, Luke Shaw, and I think he's now recovered from injury as Luke Shaw. I'd still keep Luke Shaw because he's still only young. In the midfield, he went with Pogba, who got the captain's armband, which was fantastic. He went with Matic. On the left, went with Martial. In the middle, he put Mkhitaryan now, as I presume he would, because he's good in the middle, he's good on the right, but either way, I think he's good in the middle, he's good on the right. And Mkhitaryan in the number 10, put Mata on the right, and went with Romelu Lukaku up front. So it was an absolutely fantastic performance of Manchester United in our first Champions League group stage game. The goals were from... who were the goals from? The goals were from Fellaini. Fellaini, fantastic again, Fellaini, coming off the bench against Leicester, coming off the bench last night and getting his name on the score sheet as well, made a fantastic impact. Romelu Lukaku, yet again, getting his name on the score sheet. I think that's his 5th or 6th goal now in all competitions this season. He's going to guarantee his 20-25 goals this season. And the third goal was from Marcus Rashford, his third goal in 3 games. Marcus Rashford coming off the bench last night as well to get his name on the score sheet as well. But it was an absolutely fantastic performance from Manchester United. And the assist, Ashley Young got the first assist for the Fellaini goal. Blind got the second assist for the Lukaku goal. And you could say Fellaini got the assist for the Rashford goal as well. Well, the third goal near the end. Talking that it did get a deflection as Fellaini put it in, it did get a deflection off a Basel play, and it did fall to Rashford's feet, and he did finish it off. So you could presumably say Fellaini got a goal and got an assist as well. So that is absolutely fantastic. Another clean sheet at Old Trafford. We've had now 4-0 West Ham, 4-0 Swansea, 2-0 Leicester. We know we had that blip at Stoke where we presumably should have won. That was Bailey and Jones, with the defensive errors in the game, in the Stoke game. And, we've had another fantastic result, another 3-0 result, and it presumably could have been quite a bit more as well, because we had decent chances in the game. So we are now going to get into the game. I thought Manchester United, I thought we had the majority of the possession. We were pressurising, we looked energetic, we looked organised. To me, I thought Romelu Lukaku put a fantastic shift in again. I thought he was being a menace. I thought he was creating. I thought he was providing with Romelu Lukaku when he did have. He created a few opportunities. I thought Martial was making runs towards the Basel defence as well. I thought Martial did fantastically well. I thought yet again Matic was very, very comfortable in the midfield, and we were stringing 5, 6, 7 passes together. I watched some of the link-up play was absolutely fantastic as well. At one point I saw linking up fantastically well, Lukaku, Martial, Mata, Mkhitaryan. There was a chance where I did see, and also Mkhitaryan had an absolutely phenomenal game. In my opinion, I thought Mkhitaryan, I thought some of his passes were a bit off colour, but I thought Mkhitaryan was good. He was strong, he was running at the Basel defence, and I thought he was playing. I thought he was playing some lovely through balls. Was Mkhitaryan. I thought every time we were crossing the ball as well, we looked very dangerous when we were getting balls into their penalty area. But I thought Mkhitaryan run his arse off. He was providing space. He was available all around the pitch. Was Mkhitaryan. I thought Mkhitaryan had an absolute sublime game, and I thought Ashley Young. Oh, what Ashley Young absolutely run his ass. I thought Ashley Young, was creating. I thought every time Ashley Young had the ball, every time Ashley Young had the ball, it looked as though he was going to do something with it, make something special happen. And Ashley Young, some of his skill, as I saw a couple of times, cutting inside defenders, putting lovely crosses into the box, and also got an assist as well. Did Ashley Young. Romelu Lukaku, again, fantastic. Matic played very well. Martial played very well. I'd say it's between Ashley Young. I'm going to do a man and match after the reaction. I'm going to say it's either Ashley Young or it's going to be Mkhitaryan. I thought some of Mkhitaryan's passing was poor, but I thought Mkhitaryan was getting at the defence. I thought Mkhitaryan was creating well. Mkhitaryan also had 2 decent chances. There's one with fantastic link-up play between Martial, Lukaku, I think it was. Lukaku, Martial played a lovely ball to Mata in the box, crossed it in, Mkhitaryan headed it, and it was just saved by the goalkeeper. And then actually after that, Mkhitaryan had also hit the post in the game. Mata had found Lukaku on the right in space. Lukaku had crossed it in, found Mkhitaryan perfectly, and he had just hit the post, and we was very unlucky then. And then after that, Lukaku had a few decent opportunities, so Lukaku could have got more than 1 goal. And then the sad part is after that, Man United had suffered an injury through Paul Pogba, who was absolutely instrumental for us last season. And he scored a couple of goals this season. He's provided a few assists this season. I think, yes, it was a hamstring injury. It took a few steps. I think he'd been clutching his hamstring. He'd taken a few steps, then he'd fallen to the ground. Paul Pogba, and yeah, it's just confirmed. This did say it was not going to be serious, but now what I've just basically been read up that Paul Pogba could be out for 6 weeks with this hamstring injury, so that is disappointing. And he had the captain's armband, and then I think after that he got sent off. After he'd been taken off, the captain's armband had switched to Ashley Young, and then Fellaini had come on for Paul Pogba. And you know what? Fellaini was absolutely sublime when he came on the pitch. I thought he was creating. I thought he was combining well with his teammates. I thought Fellaini was controlling the midfield fantastically well. Fellaini was helping Lukaku out. Fellaini was helping the majority of the players out ahead of him. Fellaini was creating. I thought every time he had the ball, it looked as though he was going to do something with it. He was making decent runs. As I saw a few times, he was putting decent crosses into the box with Marion Fellaini, and he was just absolutely fantastic with Marion Fellaini. He absolutely performed out of his skin when he came on for Paul Pogba. From Basel's point of view, they didn't really expose much of a threat. They didn't cause Man United really any problems. There were a few odd occasions where we looked a bit off colour at the back. I think their most attacking threat was Izuze. Izuze did have a couple of opportunities for them. I think there were one a wayward shot from the outside of the box. There were one where they had from a free kick that was straight at De Gea. And I think there was actually the one real golden opportunity he had was in the second half. I think it was from Izuze. He was in the box. He avoided the challenge from Lindelof, and then he shot, and David De Gea had to pull a world class save. I think that's the only real chance that they had. But apart from that, they didn't cause much of a threat. Basically, they were there just basically to defend. They went with 3-4-3 tactic formation. That's what they went with. But it was overall, it was a comfortable night for Manchester United. We're playing good football, and the majority of players deserve what they get. So the first goal was Mkhitaryan in the middle, and he's so good at also not only good at running, not only good at taking on defenders, not only good at crossing in. He's so good at switching the play as well. If he switched to play, found Ashley Young. Ashley Young, side defender, plays a precise cross into the box. Finds Fellaini, and Fellaini heads it in and makes it 1-0, and then puts more confidence into the team. And then after that, basically, we know it was half time. We went in with a 1-0 lead, and then in the second half, there was chances again from Manchester United. I can remember one. That was just before the second goal. Martial had a decent opportunity. He went past a few of their defenders. Martial had a shot. It was saved by the Basel goalkeeper. And after that, the second goal came. Well, it started from a corner. I think it was Blind. Well, someone passed the ball to someone, and I think Blind received it. Blind had put another a lovely inviting cross into the box, and Lukaku was there to currently make it 2-0. And then after that, we still had decent opportunities. There was one, I think it was a free kick from Mkhitaryan. It might have been Mkhitaryan, and Lukaku had another header. He was in the box again, but it was unlucky as the keeper did save it. I think it bounced. He headed the ball, it bounced, and it was just saved by the keeper. So Lukaku could have got his name on the score sheet then. And then after that, I think Martial had a decent another opportunity. Fellaini as well had crossed the ball in to Martial. Martial just scuffed it over the bar when I presume he should have scored. So that should have been another goal for Manchester United. And then Ashley Young also had a lovely opportunity as well. But yeah, it was basically all Manchester United, and then Mourinho had changed up. I think he'd brought Jesse Lingard on for Martial. I think he'd brought, I think it was Rashford for Juan Mata as well. I don't think Juan Mata had a bad game as well. I think he was making decent runs. So he brought Lingard on for Martial. He brought Rashford on for Mata. And what happens? Rashford comes off the bench and gets his name on the score sheet. As I said again, some of the build-up play for Manchester United in the game was fantastic. I thought the link-up play was absolutely sublime as well. But I thought the two key players in the game were Ashley Young and were Fellaini as well. I think they were the two key players in the game. I thought Ashley Young was fantastic. Fellaini played a fantastic impact when he came on. And, I thought Mkhitaryan played absolutely sublime as well. But the third goal... well, you could say maybe Fellaini got the assist. Lukaku received the ball just at the box, passes it to Fellaini. Fellaini puts the ball in the box. It hits one of the Basel defenders. So you couldn't really class that as an assist. You could if you wanted, but it'd be up to you. It falls to Rashford, and then Rashford coolly finishes the game off in a convincing 3-0 victory to Manchester United. So it was an absolutely fantastic performance for me. David De Gea didn't have much to do. For me, Lindelof. He will get better in time. He did look a bit off colour a couple of times, so I wouldn't say he had a really good game. Ashley Young at right back made decent runs, cutting in defenders, he was absolutely fantastic on that right hand side, was Ashley Young. And some of his passing, his pass success was absolutely fantastic as well. I think at left back, Blind, he played good. Pogba went off, didn't he? So he could be out for 6 weeks, which it could be a blow. And I did say when he went off, it's going to be interesting to see now how this affects our midfield. Now if one of our best midfielders at the moment, be interesting to see how we cooperate. And we did fantastically well because we needed someone to say, right, Pogba's off. We need someone to replace him. We need someone who's going to step up. And Fellaini did that. 100% fantastically well, getting his name on a score sheet, making decent runs, providing, making decent crosses. Lukaku didn't only get his name on the score sheet, he was linking up the play with other teammates fantastically well. He was also creating, he was providing. And it was just an overall good performance. But Fellaini, Matic again played well as he has done this season. Martial played well. Obviously before I went off. Mkhitaryan in the number 10 played well. I think he performs better than number 10. Mata played well and Lukaku played well. So the majority of the team played fantastically well. Rashford made decent runs, likes to run at defenders as he usually does, as he showed when he came on. Also got his name on the score sheet again. Rashford. He's just fantastic, with his electrifying pace. Absolutely fantastic. I did say, with the pace of Rashford, when you got the pace of Rashford, when you got a player like Lukaku, when you got a player like Martial and stuff like that, I did say it would be hard for a team like Basel to cope with that class in your team. But what a fantastic performance. And, majority of the team played well. My man of the match is actually going to be... It's with toss-up, in my opinion, it's toss-up between Mkhitaryan and Ashley Young. I know Mkhitaryan, made a few passes that weren't right. He did give the ball away a couple of times, but I thought apart from that, Mkhitaryan, was absolutely fantastic. He had 2 glorious chances as well, so he could have got his name on the score sheet. He was unlucky he didn't get his name on the score sheet. He's already provided 5 or 6 assists this season, so... Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it's going to be. I'm going to give the man of the match to Ashley Young. I think Ashley Young deserves it. You know, his work rate was fantastic. I thought he was cutting inside defenders well. I thought his crossing was absolutely fantastic. There again, I thought Fellaini's crossing was fantastic. Every time Fellaini had the ball, it looked as though something was going to happen. So it is going to be Ashley Young. You know, considering he hasn't played since May for Manchester United as well. So just an absolutely fantastic performance from Manchester United. There's still tough games to come, you know, in the group. You know, got to go to Benfica away, we've got to go to Moscow away. And, you know, there's still tough games to come yet in the group. I presume we're going to win the group, but, you know, there's a lot of competitive teams in this Champions League. But what I'm looking at the moment for Manchester United, you know, with a team now, you know, that's playing that attacking football, you know, like we used to do under the third days, we're playing that attacking football. You know, we're scoring goals, you know, we're passing the ball fantastically well, we're creating. As last season, we did dominating games, we dominated the possession, didn't do much with it, didn't score many goals, didn't lead many goals, but we just couldn't kill teams off. And it's significantly this season, there's suggestions showing up that Manchester United, you know, are killing teams off, you know, and it's just good that you've got two young age talented players in your team, such as Rashford, such as Martial. And it's good that, you know, in the window that Mourinho had got quite a few youngsters in our youth academy that can rise up the ranks as well. So this Manchester United team, this Manchester United squad is looking very good at the moment. We've done fantastic this season. We only had a blip at Stoke, which I presume we should have won that game. I was disappointed we didn't win that game. We know Stoke are good against the top six sides. We know we haven't beaten them since the Fergie days, but we'll have to forget about that. And after we've got Everton at home on Sunday. I think that's a 4 o'clock kickoff. Presumably not. Rooney's got his court date after that as well. I guarantee that'll be another 3 points for United. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. You can't complain about that. Absolutely fantastic result. There, I said Basel didn't cause much of a threat. There wasn't there to be attacking. There was basically there to be defensive. Where Basel, you know, from their perspective, they have a solid. They had three solid defenders at the back. They had four in the mid, and they had three attack. They showed the odd. They showed the odd attack, they showed the odd danger to us, but really it was too easy for the Manchester United. I think their most threatening player was Zuzo, but that was really about it. But Lindelof still needs time. I do have concerns because he still looked a bit, he looked a bit unnecessary at the back a couple of times. Did Lindelof, as I saw, but apart from that, you know, going forward, attacking sense, you know, we look absolutely sublime, you know, going forward. You know, when you've got the likes of Lukaku, highly experienced, you've got the likes of Rashford as well. You know, Rashford, you know. This is not he's scored, you know, his third goal now. You know, in 3 games for United. You know, he scored two against Midtjylland that time. He scored in his Premier League debut against Arsenal, Rashford, and he's now done it. He scored in his England debut. Now he's scored on his Champions League debut. Scored in his Europa League debut. So he's scored in his Premier League debut, his Europa League debut, his Champions League debut, his League Cup debut. I think on his Europa League debut as well. Also, yeah, as I did forget to say, Romelu Lukaku has scored on his Champions League debut for Manchester United as well. But yeah, you can't complain about that. And Rashford, in my opinion, next couple, he's going to become a huge prospect. And, you know, next 2, 3, 4 years, or maybe 5, you know, he's going to become one of the best players in the world. You know, I think now where he's performing, the way he's hit the tempo up since last season, I think for a young player, I think he's in the top 3, top 4 as one of the young best players in the world. The way this player Rashford is performing at the moment. Martial, yep, he's doing fantastically well. I still think there needs to be improvements for Martial, but overall, you know, he struggled last season, failed to replicate that form under Van Gaal. But I think, you know, Martial now he's growing and developing into his game, just like Marcus Rashford's growing and developing his game. As we all said, his finishing assets needs to improve Rashford's, and I tell you what, it has improved big time this season from Marcus Rashford. So anyway, that's the review of the Manchester United Basel game. We've gone into all that detail about that game anyway. What we're going to do is now, guys, we are actually... there were quite a few fouls in the Man United Basel game as well, weren't there? I didn't really take notice. I know there were quite a few fouls in the game. But anyway, I'm going to go into the other results in the Champions League. Moscow beat Benfica 2-1. Celtic got thrashed at home by Paris Saint-Germain. As I did say with Celtic, you know, they win the Scottish Premiership nearly every single year. But I did say when Celtic come in the Champions League, you know, against elite oppositions, Celtic are absolutely nothing in the Champions League. their league, Scottish league, is pretty easy for Celtic's perspective. The only two dominant teams are Celtic and Rangers, if you take it into consideration. You know, Neymar again getting his name on the score sheet, Paris Saint-Germain. Mbappe getting his name on the score sheet for the Paris Saint-Germain. So it just proves Mbappe's now, I think, scored quite a few goals for them. Neymar scored quite a few goals. And, you know, considering the amount of money, you know, PSG had invested in the transfer window, I'd say they should be one of the favourites to win the Champions League, you know, a competition they've never won. So, in my opinion, they should be the favourites. That's all I'm saying on the situation. You've got Chelsea again, 6-0 winners. I think Chelsea, you know, are going to be up there this season. You know, they've got a class squad. You know, Conte had spent a lot of money in the window. Well, he still wants to get more in January, but you know he got the likes of Bakayoko, he got the likes of Rodiger. Obviously, they let John Terry go to Chelsea after over 2 decades at the club. Diego Costa still could be going. You know they've got Morata there, that's doing fantastically well for Chelsea, who scored quite a few goals. You know, Chelsea 6-0 winners against Quarbars. I think since the Burnley game, Chelsea have been absolutely phenomenal. They've stepped the tempo up. They only lost the Burnley game, in my opinion. Well, Burnley haven't had a bad start because, you know, Burnley have got Chris Wood in the team. So, from my perspective, with Chelsea, they had 2 men sent off in the Burnley game. There was poor in the game. Burnley deserved to win. But since then, Chelsea, you know, won. They beat Tottenham at Wembley. You know, they beat Everton. You know, they beat Everton 2-0, was it? Yeah, they beat Leicester 2-1. Chelsea are doing fantastically well now. You know, Bakayoko, yes, scores for Chelsea, and it was, yeah, and it says here it was the first ever competitive encounter between Chelsea and Quarkbag. Don't know much about Quarkbag, but it's going to be interesting. I love the Champions League. You know, I'm glad that Manchester United are back in it. We deserved it from our success from the Europa League last season. I'm really glad that we're back in it. Barcelona beat Juventus 3-0. As I did say, Barcelona had not been the same team since Neymar. You know, they got beat by Real Madrid. Was it? I can't remember the score. In the Super Cup, was it 3-1, something like that? No, 5-1 or something, was it? Yeah, Lionel Messi with 2 goals. You know, Lionel Messi, you know, still one of the best footballers in the world. So Messi and Ronaldo, the 2 best footballers in the world. You got Messi. It's got to be now in so many La Liga appearances. All in all, he's got to be nearly touching. Is it about 357 goals now, or 358 now for Messi in the La Liga? Maybe 354, 355. I can't remember for Messi. We know he's won 5 Ballon d'Or. You know, he's been at Barcelona for 13 years, you know, over a decade, and his performances have been absolutely sublime. He's won 5 Ballon d'Ors with the club. He's all-time top goal scorer for Argentina. You know, he's won Golden Boots as a line on a Messi. You know, he's a 5-time Ballon d'Or winner. And I actually think now is all in all, is it now nearly 600 games that Messi is played in, and he must have hit now about 512, 513 goals or something like that. It must be something like that. I may be wrong. I'll have to look it up. But absolutely a class player. And he did say here Barcelona have only won. Before the game, Barcelona have only won one of their last 6 competitive games against Juventus, so they haven't, in recent times, haven't had a good record against Juventus. But Juventus progressed fantastically well last season, didn't they? You know, because they got to the final, they beat Monaco, and Monaco did fantastically well last season. Juventus, you know, are still a decent team. They're very, very good in Italy. You know, they win the league a lot, but Juventus will look to do that back at their ground against Barcelona. And You've got Olympiacos Sporting Lisbon there. I'm not really bothered by it. You've got Bayern Munich that beat Anderlecht 3-0 as well. Bayern Munich, very good team. You know, they've got Rodriguez in there now. You know, they've got Vidal there. You know, Vidal's a very, very class player. Let's just go into that. Yeah, Robert Lewandowski. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal for Bayern Munich is Robert Lewandowski. And you know, they've got Muller there, and as I did say, I updated you about Thomas Muller. You know, since Ancelotti's been in charge of Bayern Munich, you know, he hasn't been playing regular football. You know, since Carlo Ancelotti took over. We know he's won honours with Bayern Munich. Thomas Muller. We know he's actually been there for 9 years, since 2008. I can remember making his debut, and he did win the double back in 2010 under Louis van Gaal. Did Muller with Bayern Munich, and won the treble back in 2013 with Bayern Munich, a historic treble. But Bayern Munich, they've won the Champions League 5, 6 times of Bayern Munich. I do think they maybe would be strong enough to win the Champions League. There's a lot of teams in there who've got good squads, good potential, so it's not an easy competition to win. But Thomas Muller perspective, I think he's made, is it now nearly 4 century appearances, or maybe more, and he's scored about 162, 163 goals. We know he's got a contract as Thomas Muller with Bayern Munich until 2021. Well, I think he's earned about 8-7 caps for Germany as this player as well. And apparently teams have been interested in him because Man United went for him under Van Gaal. We had an 85 million bid turned down. So he could be still available in January because we know Liverpool made inquiries, Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United have been interested. So, and his versatility is class as well. He can play as attacking mid. He's a vice captain. He can play as attacking mid. He can play as a winner. I think he plays a forward as well. So his versatility is very, very good. His link-up play is good. And, it'd be fantastic if we were to get him on the board. And that's it. That's all the results. So you've got 2-1 at CSK Moscow, 3-0 Man U, 5-0 Paris Saint-Germain, 6-0 Chelsea, Roma, Atletico Madrid 0-0, Barcelona, Juventus 3-0, Olympiacos, Sporting Lisbon 3-2, Bayern Munich 3-0. And then you've got tonight's game, should I say. You've got Liverpool, Sevilla. Liverpool, were actually played very, very well in a convincing victory against Hoffenheim last time out. I think for Liverpool, they've got Emre Can that's hitting form. He made 30 odd appearances last season. I think he scored 5 goals. You've got Emre Can that's hitting form. He's coming to an end of his contract with Liverpool. Apparently, he did say the other week Liverpool were prepared to have contract talks with him, but the player was actually demanding a release clause. Liverpool weren't willing to offer him this. So there's teams that have been interested in Can. I think Juventus have been interested. I think a couple of other teams have been interested in Emre Can, but he's a very, very good player. A player that worked by Munich 4 years. A player that went to Leverkusen. I think Liverpool now have had him 3 years, and this is his 4th season. Liverpool paid nearly £10 million for him, and he's made nearly over 100. I think he's made over 100 appearances for Liverpool as well. You've got Mane there who's been on form, but obviously we know he's suspended due to his sending off against Manchester City. They've got Salah there who's doing fantastically well. Liverpool still need someone at the back. As I said, Liverpool still need someone at the back for defo. They'll probably revive the interest in Van Dijk in January. So yeah, and the big debate is now tonight in Liverpool-Sevilla game. A lot of Liverpool fans are desperate to see Coutinho start. There's still, I don't know if he's going to start. The press, some of the press are still reporting, Spanish Dan Bolland publication reported that Barcelona will be desperate that Coutinho refuses to play in the Champions League and he doesn't feature in the Champions League, and some of the press reported he could refuse to play in the Champions League because obviously we know for the majority of the window, the August window, he wanted to make the move to Barcelona. We know he's missed Liverpool's first 5-6 games, whatever it is. He has been participating, during the international break, he'd been participating with Brazil at Philippe Coutinho. He'd been participating with Brazil, and he could still refuse to play in the Champions League. And and we know he's got a 4 or 5 year deal with Liverpool, and we know Klopp had positive discussions with Coutinho. That he had positive discussions. He said he's been happy since he's returned from training, and he's been an happy player. And they had discussions. Klopp had confirmed he was going to be dismissed from Manchester City before the City game. He'd had discussions, and Coutinho had accepted it. He'd agreed with it totally, and Klopp had explained how much of an important player that Philippe Coutinho was for Liverpool. So he could start tonight. He could not start tonight. I don't know. Liverpool fans will want to see him start because Barcelona are still convinced they could maybe get him in January, maybe get him next summer. I do not know, but obviously we know with the Barcelona. With the owners of Liverpool owners, should I say, with their resistance, and they are not reluctant to offload Coutinho. That's why the deal didn't materialise. Coutinho going to Barcelona, and in the process, Barcelona had 3 bids turned down from Liverpool in the process. So they still know how much of an essential player he is. And I did update you with Coutinho yesterday. He did basically say that he agreed to deal with Southampton in 2012, and the Southampton ex-chairman had actually clarified and confirmed that he'd agreed a deal. That Southampton had agreed a deal with Inter Milan for £12 million. The £12 million had been accepted by Inter Milan by Southampton, but I don't. In the process, it didn't go through as the player decided to go to Liverpool instead. And this is what basically apparently he'd been scouted. You know, we know Coutinho had been at Espanyol on loan in 2012. Apparently, the scouting trip. This is what had sent Pochettino to the Premier League. This current scouting trip, the scouting trip with Coutinho and. He'd been watched during his loan spell with Espanyol in 2012, and this is what actually Southampton ex-chairman has actually clarified out. So apparently in 2012, Southampton were close to agreeing a deal for Coutinho, but Liverpool bought him for £8.5 million. And since 2013, the progression over his 4 years at Liverpool has been absolutely sublime. You know, he's become one of the most creative players, you know, in world football as Philip Coutinho. So Liverpool fans would want to see him participate tonight. Klopp confirmed as well. You know, he's going to put him in the team when he thinks he's ready and when he thinks Coutinho regains full fitness as well. So yeah, he's become, you know, all in all, I think 42 goals in nearly 2 century appearances is very, very good going for Coutinho. But we'll look some more information. So yeah, if he starts, I don't know. If he starts, I don't know. He may start, he may not. I'm not going to be watching the games. I won't be doing reviews on them games because I only do it on my own team. You've got Fernand, Manchester City here. Let's have a look at that. Believe it or not, Fernand actually I think did beat us. Was it last season as well? It's the first ever competition and calm between Fernand and City. We know with City have had a fantastic start to the season. We currently still sit top on goal difference. City have had a fantastic start to the season. You know, they'd be disappointed that they didn't get Alexis Sanchez, but I think they'll be convinced they can get him for 20 million in January. But City, you know, have got a fantastic squad now. Could say still slightly better than ours. You know, got Aguero, highly experienced, one of the most prolific goal scorers in world football. Sané, Gabriel Jesus in there. City have, and you know they've got Kyle Walker at the back. You know they've got a solid defensive area of Manchester City, absolutely solid. So for me, City very very good team. You know absolutely destroyed Liverpool. But to be fair, it was an even contest until Mane, should I say, not Sané, Mane got sent off. To me, it was a sending off because it wasn't deliberate, but whether it's deliberate or purposely, you can't do that. You try going for the ball, the keeper come out and his studs go straight into his face. And, you know, you can't do that in football, and that's the thing. And City, you know, did grind out a result against Bournemouth. They wasn't very, very good against Everton, but you know, City have. I think all in all, you know, they've popped up at the right moments. You know, they've got the wins, and City have got a fantastic squad. You know. You know, his first ever counter, it says here, Fernand have lost 6 of their last 9 games they've played against all English teams in all competitions. Manchester City are winless in their 2 away games against Dutch opposition in all competitions. Fernand are making their first Champions League their 5th Champions League appearance. Sorry, their first since 2002-2003. The 3rd most for a Dutch side after PSV and Ajax. They've never made the knockout stages. It says here in their 4 previous participations. Fernand have only won 2 of their last 15 Champions League games. This is Manchester City's 7th consecutive Champions League participation. They have made it past the last 16 only once. It was in 2015-16 when they reached semi-finals, knocked out by Real Madrid. Manchester City have won none of their last 6 away games in Champions League, conceding 14 goals in the process. None of Manchester City's 30 Champions League group games have ended goalless. They have also only kept 5 clean sheets in those 36 games. So it does City do leak a lot of goals in the Champions League. Sergio Aguero scored only two of his last 12 Champions League games, 5 goals. He is nevertheless Manchester City's top scorer in the competition, 22 goals in 40 games. And you know he's got a fantastic history behind him as Aguero, the way he's been performing. Pep Guardiola has won the Champions League on 2 occasions as manager. Yeah, we know he's never won it with City, but he has won it with Barcelona, with fantastic Barcelona. But Guardiola has won the Champions League on 2 occasions as manager, both with Barcelona. A 3rd trophy would equal Carlo Ancelotti and Bob Paisley's record. Guardiola has reached the semi-final in 7 of his 8 seasons as manager in the Champions League, but hasn't made the final since 2011. So yep, that is the City game. So you would fancy City in that game, come taking into consideration it is the first encounter between the two sides. Feyenoord look a very, very poor side, and City, with the attack that they've got, it's going to cause Feyenoord all sorts of problems. So, got to be, I'm going to go for Manchester City in that game. And then you've got I'm not going to go into all the details of the games, and you've got, Tottenham, Borussia Dortmund. I feel sorry for Tottenham because, Tottenham have been very consistent for the last couple of years. They've got the likes of Harry Kane scoring his 100th goal against Everton as well, what was fantastic from Harry Kane's perspective. They've got a very good squad, bought 3 players in the August window. But, from Tottenham, they've got a very, very difficult group. You've got Borussia Dortmund in the group. They've got Real Madrid in the group, and they've got someone else in the group, but I can't remember who it is. And Real Madrid, have won the competition, is it 12, 13 times? And they have won 3 Champions Leagues in 4 seasons. So that is definitely going to be a tough test for Tottenham. So too is Borussia Dortmund's going to be a tough test for Tottenham as well. So for me, I think they've got one of the hardest groups of Tottenham, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. So that's just my opinion. Liverpool, Sevilla, I'd say Liverpool win anyway. I'm going to go for Liverpool in that game. Even though they suffered a bad defeat to Manchester City, but I think apart from the defeat for Manchester City, I think Liverpool have done very, very well. They had a fantastic result against Arsenal. With the likes of Sturridge getting his name on the score sheet. You had the likes of, I think, did Mane score in that game? Liverpool were absolutely phenomenal in that current game. You can't take nothing away from that. They were absolutely phenomenal. They beat Palace 1-0. Unlucky not to beat Watford, but Liverpool, I think, will beat Sevilla anyway, because they were very, very good in the Hoffenheim game as well. They were very, very good attacking Liverpool, and there's still players that could leave Liverpool. Liverpool, obviously have got Naby Keita confirmed for next summer. I've already updated you on that, but he's going to make a massive impact. He's good at breaking up the play, tenacious, competitive. As he's proven at RP Lee's as big as Naby Keita. It is 48 million release clause. The add-ons included, whether they get to Champions League or any European competition or not, there's still add-ons included in the deal. I presume he will be signing the 5-year deal with Liverpool, and it was confirmed just before the window on. The player Keita is very, very ecstatic because we know Liverpool for the majority of the August window were absolutely heavily linked to him. So all in all, the 48 million release clause plus the add-ons is going to totally up to about 65, 70 million pound for a promising player that RP League's big bought from Salzburg in 20. Was it Salzburg? Yes, in 2016. And he was fantastic progressing them to Champions League last season. And also, again, then second place did Naby Keita. But I think Liverpool are going to get him next summer. There were talks that they could get him in January, according to a Bundesliga expert. We know Liverpool have paid a premium for this as well. So it is confirmed either way that Liverpool have got him. They could still see Emre Can go. We know they've lost Origi as well on loan. We know they went for Limar at the end of the August window as well. But we'll see what happens. I'm not going to go into all the details of the game. As I said, I can't be bothered. But yeah, that's most of the things I've updated you with today. Let's just see if there's any news I'm going to update you guys on anywhere. If there's any news. Borussia Dortmund have got a class team. They've got a Aubameyang in the team as well. That could cause problems for Tottenham as well. Obviously, we know that they raised a lot of money for the departure of Ousmane Dembele. He was a young age prospect and he'd only been at Borussia Dortmund a year, but now he's at Barcelona. He's at a better team because Dembele's playing alongside Messi, Suarez. And he's going to elevate to a higher level. So, say any more news? Let's have a look. Neymar and Mbappe, as I did say there, Paris Saint-Germain have got, as I did say with Paris Saint-Germain, they've got Cavani now, they've got Cavani, Neymar, Mbappe, they're going to be, in my opinion, the absolute flourish of Paris Saint-Germain this season. They're going to score goals for fun, and that's just my opinion. Yeah, I wanted to get a bit more actually into the Paul Pogba news, guys. I do want to get into a bit of the Paul Pogba news. It did say something about that. He was going to be out for 6 weeks. The hamstring injury did suffer in the game. If I can't get onto it, then I'll try. I want to get onto that injury about Paul Pogba, but if it don't come up, I can't do really nothing about it. But oh, there we go. He did say something about 6 weeks. Work there. It's on here. This is it. Mourinho fears Pogba may miss a few weeks. Oh, it may not be 6 weeks. Work there. Paul Pogba could be sidelined for a few weeks. It could be. It might not be 6 weeks. It might be just be a couple of weeks. Sorry. Paul Pogba could be sidelined for a few weeks with a hamstring injury. Manchester United manager Mourinho has actually confirmed and announced this. Due to that, he came off in the 70. He did come off in the 70. It was nearly the 20-minute mark. He came off yesterday. Pogba. It is disappointing, because he's been very impressive this season. Very, very impressive towards the end of last season as well. But Fellaini had stepped up, in the Basel game and proven a point. And we needed that. And Fellaini had definitely proved that as well. He could be missing the first few weeks. I just know from his experience, his muscular injury, Mourinho's explained all this situation. In my experience, muscular injuries stop you from playing a few weeks, I think. Yeah, Pogba, he's made an impressive start. He scored, as I said, he scored 2 goals. He's provided, I think, quite a few assists. Is it 3 or 4 assists or something like that? So Pogba could be out for a couple of weeks. I don't think it's 6 weeks. Mourinho's confirmed he could be out for a couple of weeks as well. But anyway, going back to United game, absolutely fantastic result from Manchester United. Can't take nothing away from the performance. It was absolutely fantastic. I did expect us to win anyway, because Basel, we know they've won the Swiss League 8 times, but they're not very competitive in the Champions League, are they? So basically, I thought Young, my man of the match. Fellaini, fantastic. Matic, fantastic. Fellaini, as I said, fantastic. Lukaku again, fantastic. Martial, good as well. Rashford, when he came on the second half, fantastic. Mata, fantastic. Well, Mata, pretty good. Ashley Young, as I said, fantastic. Just majority of the players were just absolutely fantastic. So now we do go into Everton on Sunday. I think it is a 5 o'clock kickoff, and it will be a very, very entertaining game of football. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoy my time coming to today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. Subscribe to my channel as always, and take it easy, guys. And if you do consider subscribing, just press that subscribe button if you want to. So anyway, that's everything to update today. And I'll see you all later, guys. Bye.